Hello students, I welcome you all to Current Affair Lectures by Azad ICS Academy, and today we are going to look into current affairs of 23rd of April 2025, right? So we have left with around roughly 1 month for UPSC prelims if you are appearing, right? So let us see some important articles for today. Before we start with the important articles, we will also start with the question that we had seen yesterday. What is the name of ISRO's mission that involves docking two satellites? And the name of that particular mission is SPEDX. Okay, so we have seen SDX-01, which is the chaser, and we have seen SDX-02, which is the target. And we have seen that this chaser will go and, hit the target, or they are going to, mix together or dock together. And we have also seen undocking process that has happened. And they're also testing what? Power transmission, right? So this is what we have basically done. And India is the fourth country who is having this particular process or doing this process of docking. Which are the other two countries or other three countries that we have is USA, Russia, and China are able to do the same. And fourth country, that is India, is also able to do the same thing here. Now, what is this particular SpaceX mission going to be helpful? It is going to helpful in the upcoming space missions, such as it could be Gaganyaan, in which we have manned missions, right? We can also have Indian Space Station, right? So for that also, we can also give fuel. Maybe we can have a sustainable infrastructure, because what is going to happen is we can sustain a particular satellite for a longer period of time, because if the power is less, we can also do some power transmission using this particular docking process. In next few weeks, we are also going to have a larger satellite docking process, is what our minister has also been mentioning in yesterday's article. So this is about what we had discussed in yesterday's lecture and the question that we had discussed. I hope all of you have tried to answer this question. Let us see the important articles that we have for today. The first one is big cat with big cat count rises, MP to develop buffer zone around its 9 tiger reserves. Okay, so obviously the number of tigers are increasing, so hence the buffer zone is also going to get increased when it comes to tiger reserves. And that is why it is a news. So very good news that a number of tigers are going on increasing. The Madhya Pradesh cabinet on Tuesday approved the scheme of developing buffer zone in the state's 9 tiger reserves. So there are 9 tiger reserves. For 9 tiger reserves, they are going to increase the buffer zone. They are going to increase the zone where tigers can live peacefully. The approval of the new scheme, development of buffer zone and tiger reserves, with a total outlay of 145 crores for financial year 25-26 and 27-28, was given at the cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister. Right? As a part of the scheme, chain link fencing will also be installed to ecological sensitive buffer zones, apart from developing grasslands and water resources. So hence, what we have to understand here is Madhya Pradesh currently has the highest number of tiger reserves. Very, very important. And how many tiger reserves it has got? It has got 9 tiger reserves, okay, among the Indian states. Tiger population of MP buffer zone increases from 526 to 785 in 4 years. So we are going to increase this as well. Conservation efforts include fencing. So what we are going to do is we are going to put in a lot of fencing. Okay, grassland development and skill training for local communities. We are going to make sure that the communities who are there, we are going to give them some kind of skills, so that there is skill development for the local communities. Now, what is the background that we have here is we have to understand that Madhya Pradesh, often referred to as the tiger state of India, leads in tiger conservation with 9 reserves. So we have to understand which is the leading state when it comes to tiger conservation is your Madhya Pradesh. Is going to be a Madhya Pradesh, and in the Madhya Pradesh we have 9 tiger reserves. Okay, so that is why it is also called as tiger state. Okay, including newly inaugurated Madhav National Park. So in 2024, March 2024, there is a newly added tiger reserve, that is Madhav National Park. Okay, in 2023, 3 tiger reserves were introduced in Madhav National Park as a part of tiger reintroduction program. The increase in the tiger population has led to need of sustainable management of buffer zones as well. So this is something that we have to understand over here. Next, conservation efforts, as I already told you, March 10th, Madhav National Park became the 9th tiger reserve. This was in 2024. Okay, highest among all the states. 3 tiger reserves were, including 2 females, were introduced in park. Okay, 3 tigers were also introduced, which had 2 females as a part of tiger reintroduction program state. Notably, tiger population in the buffer zone and around the Madhya Pradesh 9 tiger reserves has increased from 526 to 785 over past 4 years. So this is a very good thing that state of Madhya Pradesh is basically doing. Now, apart from this, what are the scheme that is going to be having? Okay, the scheme that they're going to increase the buffer zone. What they're going to do? They are going to have a chain link fencing. Okay, so they are going to make sure that there is going to be a chain linking fencing or linked fencing. Okay, development of grasslands, fire safety measures will also be taken care of because it should not be like forest fires or something like that. Then wildlife protection infrastructure, health monitoring and treatment. So they're also going to make sure that there is health monitoring and treatment of these animals, skill development for local things, etc. Now, what are the things that we have to understand here? The Tiger aligns with the national goals under Tiger Project and National Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, promotes ecotourism and local employment, providing sustainable conservation model. So we are also going to strengthen our CBD, that is conservation on biodiversity and sustainable development goals. Okay, that is life on land, 15th one. Right. So these are some of the things that we are going to align by doing this. Madhya Pradesh models may serve as a template for other states where tigers are more, right? Apart from this, what are the challenges that we have? Very, very important. See, human encroachment and land use is something that is going to be a threat for all of us, especially when it comes to tigers. Balancing development needs for local communities with conservation priorities is something that is going to be another challenge. Okay, tackling poaching, fire threats, and climate linked habitat changes are some things that can have issues when it comes to tiger conservation, right? So these are some of the issues here that we have. But yes, please have a look at Madhav National Park, Madhya Pradesh's tiger reserves. What are the 9 tiger reserves that were there in Madhya Pradesh? Try to have a look at all these things. This may be asked, right? So now next important topic that we have is regarding Arctic Circle. What are the important stands that India can have when it comes to Arctic Circle? Exploring India's potential in Arctic region. Okay, so here we have to understand that melting Arctic ice is opening up a northern sea route. Very, very important. So what you have to understand is global trade is swinging like a pendulum with potential headwinds from USA nudging from northern to start doubling down the alternative trade strategies. In this scenario, partners around the supply chain and trade routes are expanding based on the current. Okay, so this is, we are understanding that because of the Trump, we have seen that there is a lot of, global trade shifts that are happening. It looks like a pendulum, right? So hence we are also having climate change. So the frozen frontier, that is nothing but a frontier because it saves. Arctic serves as a canary of coal mines for impeding climate catastrophe. It also serves as a source of great geopolitical leverage at sea level continues to rise and new trade routes emerging because of the climate change. What's happening here is the Arctic Circle, which is covered with ice, because there is temperature raise, there is kind of melting of this particular temperatures. I mean, this particular ice. And because there is this ice that has been melting, what's happening here is, what we have to understand here is that the new sea routes are becoming viable to people around, right? So what is a new sea route? We have a northern sea route. So this is basically called as northern sea route. It's not mentioned here, but yes, this is the name of the route, that is northern sea route. Okay. Offering faster trade between, so this will offer faster trade between Europe and Asia. Okay. India releases its Arctic policy. So we have to also understand that, India is releasing its Arctic policy in 2022, right? And because of this, aiming to tap the strategy and economical potentials of this region, India must also invest in shipbuilding, ice breaking fleets to train, to cooperate with Arctic conditions. So we need to make sure if we want to. So here it is very clearly mentioned that the new trade route is called as Northern Sea Route in the Arctic, linking the specific. So this is going to, have a shortest route between the Europe and Asia. So India can have a long-term approach in exploring this particular mega port routes, etc. So what India should do? India should also make sure that it is going to have a lot of budget. There should be something which is called shipbuilding muscle to sail through this particular northern sea route. Okay. And if we have any turbulence, we need to make sure that we are able to break that also, right? So India has released its Arctic policy in 2022. Okay, that needs to be streamlined. Development fund for shipping ministry also needs to be done. So these are some of the things that India must do. Now, India's bilateral cooperation with Russia includes Arctic navigation, development, and working group. So India is having a very good relation with Russia, especially when it comes to, northern sea route exploration, etc. India must also balance the ties between USA and Russia to avoid any kind of strategic grounds to China in Arctic region. So we need to make sure that we are having a proper relation with USA as well as with Russia, so that we are not giving any space to China again, right? Arctic shrinking or Arctic sea ice is shrinking at, look, that is a very important fact that they've given, that is 12.2% per year. okay, or per decade, opening a sea route like NSR, that is National Sea Route. National Sea Route would reduce travel time and shipping cost for bypassing the Malacca Strait, offering major trade advantages. So if we have a new sea route, then the traffic that is there in Malacca Strait below, that will get reduced. The amount of time will get reduced. The amount of money that you're investing in shipping industry will also get reduced. Okay. So India's historical Arctic engagement between the Salvabad Treaty in 1920 followed Arctic research stations and satellite studies as well. So we have a very good, bilateral treaty that was there, which is also called as Salvabad Treaty, that was in 1920. So this is also giving us some kind of engagement that we had, and this treaty was signed earlier in 1920s. Okay, so this is another important thing that we have to understand. Now, strategical policy and legal and economic implications. Climate change is making this NSR navigable, but also increasing the global temperature breach, as shown in natural climate change. So the good things, but there's also a bad thing. What is the bad thing that we need to focus upon here is that, see, we know that a new sea route is getting emerged, but that's not a good news because it is happening because of the melting of ice. So melting of ice is not a good news for us because it's a climate change. So India's strategic autonomy is at risk if the allies or alliance only with one bloc, either Russia or China, Arctic influence, or US led to West. So investigating in Arctic capabilities boost India's energy access, shipping efficiency, and geopolitical reach. Arctic policy impacts India's climate resilience as well, as Arctic melts influences monsoon and agriculture. So if Arctic is melting, it's not just Arctic that's melting, it's also going to impact our country. It's going to impact our environment. It's going to impact our agriculture. It's going to impact our monsoons, etc. Now, India stands, or what is the way forward for India? See, India should have a proper, balanced Arctic diplomacy, engaging with Russia, USA, Japan, and South Korea. And you should have a polar ambassador to represent Arctic interest and coordinate internationally. Okay. Avoid over dependence on China. So we should stop depending on China. Okay. Especially which is, like on China via NSR, because it could strengthen the Belt and Road Initiative and control over Arctic trade as well. So China can have a stance there. So we need to make sure that we are not depending much on China here, especially when it comes to Northern Sea Route as well. Okay. Now, the challenges that we have is that a fragile Arctic ecosystem. That is what you have to understand is that there is kind of rules and regulations, limitations when you want to do some kind of research in Arctic Circle. Technical readiness also. See, for Arctic shipping, ice class ship, port logistic remains a hurdle. So geopolitical tensions over sanction that, we need to get a sanction, we need to get all these things. These are all issues. Need of domestic awareness and stakeholders as well. So we need to understand what are the domestic stakeholders that we have and how can we make it better, etc. So these are some of the things that are having impact on, right? So this is another important thing that we have a new sea route that can come up, and that is related to Arctic. And because Arctic ice is melting, and that's why the sea route is now opening. Let us see the question that we have for today. Try to answer this. What is the name of the new trade route opening up in Arctic due to melting of ice? Okay, so try to identify which is the right answer. Also give some kind of explanation and make sure which, are the things that India can do to make our stance better when it comes to Arctic Circle, how it is going to impact India. So try to write 1 or 2 lines in the comment section. If you have any other suggestions, if you want me to improvise on some of the other topic, please mention about that as well. Put your answers in the comment section and put some explanation. To give you a hint, it's not Polar Silk Route, obviously no. It's not Trans-Arctic Route, it's not Eastern Route, it's obviously Northern Sea Route. I've been discussing about this. If you've heard this particular topic clearly, you'll be able to answer it very easily. I'll see and discuss about this more in tomorrow's class with tomorrow's current affairs. Thank you so much. Have a good day.